everybody? I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 6 English lesson on possessive nouns. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 6, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of possessive nouns. All right, so our chapter is possessive pronouns, possessive nouns. Our subject is English Language Arts. Grade 6. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of possessive nouns is to identify plurals, singular possessives, as well as plural possessives, and to form the singular and plural possessive. All right, so possessive nouns, right? It shows who or what owns something, or it shows who or what has something. So once again, we can say a possessive noun. It shows either who or what owns something or who or what has something. And before we and when it comes to a possessive noun, right? You can either get singular nouns or you can get plural nouns. And when a noun is singular, then we basically just add an apostrophe as well as an S to form the singular possessive noun. And an example of that is where we would say Matt right? If we are making mention of Matt's gloves, right? The gloves, it belongs to Matt. So the glove belongs to Matt. And then we're going to say Matt. This is Matt's name. But we're going to say Matt's glove. Because now we've added the apostrophe as well as the is. If we want to make mention of, for example, the bird, right? Or the wings of the bird. And then we say the bird's, it sounds almost like the bird's wings. And then we also have a noun that's plural. And when a noun is plural, right, and the noun ends with an S. So if a noun is plural and it already ends with an S, then all we do is we just add an apostrophe. You only add the apostrophe, not the S, you only add the apostrophe. And that is to form the plural possessive noun. For example, boys, right? It is more than one boy. So boys, and it ends with an S, right? So if we are making mention of the boys, right? And for example, them going on a camp, and then we can say it's the boys' camp. As you can see, we just added an apostrophe only. The same with schools, right? We are making mention of more than one school because plural of for schools is for school is schools. And if we want to make mention of the teams of the schools, right? And then we can say the schools' teams. And as you can see, we just added an apostrophe since it's already ending with an S. So just add an apostrophe. And then also, right, we if we specifically also look at plural nouns, so once again, when a noun is plural, but it does not end in either S, then we all add the S, we add the apostrophe and we add the S. So if a noun is plural, but it doesn't end with an S, and then we add an apostrophe as well as an S. And that is to form the plural possessive noun. And an example is the children, right? Children is more than one, right? It refers to more than one child. So more than one child is children. So if we want to talk about the children's toys and we say children's toys, and as you can see, we added an apostrophe as well as an S. The same with mice. Mice is more than one mouse. And we can say the mice's tails because we are making mention of the tails of the mouse or the mice, right? So those are basically possessive nouns. Possessive nouns, it shows who or what owns something or has something. It belongs to me, it belongs to you, or it belongs to Jack, it belongs to Matt, it belongs to the bird, it belongs to the mice or the mouse. And we said we get singular possessive nouns and we get plural possessive nouns. And remember, there's a difference between a plural noun and a plural possessive noun. Because when it comes to a possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something or has something, whereas a plural just means it's more than one. So if with just a normal plural, right, we just add s to show that there's more than one of that items. Whereas with a plural possessive noun, we have to add an apostrophe also because now it's putting emphasis on who or what owns something or has something, who it belongs to. All right. So now we're going to a plus students.ca, and then we are going to continue with our chapter on possessive pronouns. And the first lesson that we're going to be focusing on is to identify plurals, singular possessives, as well as plural possessives. And we made mention that possessive nouns, it shows either who or what owns something or who or what has something. And we see when a noun is singular, we add an apostrophe and an S. And when a noun is plural and ends with an S, we only add the apostrophe. All right. Just keeping in mind that when we have a plural noun, right? In a plural noun refers to two or more things, right? And with a plural noun, we basically just add an S. No apostrophe, just an S to show that there's more than one of that thing, or two or more of that things, right? Or people. But we say the possessive possessive noun, it shows ownership. It shows either what who owns something or has something. And we need to either add an apostrophe and an S, or we add just an apostrophe. All right. So now we're going to say what the word is in bold. So we're either going to say if it's a singular possessive noun or a plural possessive noun, or if it's just plural noun. All right. So it says the biologist studies deers moves to look for evidence of nutritional problems or diseases. So we see the biologist that studies the deer's hooves to look for evidence of nutritional problems or diseases. So we now need to say is it a singular possessive, a plural possessive, or a plural noun? All right, so we're going to say if we're referring to a deer, then we're referring to more than one. So we can say plural possessive noun, right? So it's a plural possessive noun. When the movie Shrek was first released in 2001, it was well received. Critics' reviews were enthusiastic and full of praise. Is this a singular possessive or a plural possessive? All right. And if we say the critics' reviews, right? And then I know we are referring to more than one. So which means it's going to be a plural possessive noun. Sorry. All right. So we said the next one says Mark has tried several chicken pie recipes, but he has yet to find one that meets his standards. All right. So we said meats. It says Mark has tried several chicken pot pie recipes, but he has yet to find one that meets his standards. All right. So now we're going on to our test, right? Where we are going to identify if it's a plural, if it is a singular possessive, or if it's a plural possessive noun. So the word in bold, we now need to say if it's a plural noun or if it's a plural possessive noun. And remember, we said, oh, when it's a possessive, then we add the apostrophe and s. All right, so what is the word in bold? And the word in bold is reservoirs. It says Lake Powell on the Colorado River is one of the largest man made reservoirs in the United States. So, reservoirs, is reservoirs a plural noun or is the plural possessive noun? All right. What is the word in bold, which is reservoirs? We said it's a plural noun because it only basically refers to more than one, right? Raspberries are perennial plants that is they live for more than 2 years. So raspberries, raspberries. They even changed the wording to from raspberry with a Y to adding the IES. And we can say raspberries are perennial plants. That is, they live for months. They live for more, sorry, than 2 years. So do we say it's a singular possessive noun or do we just say it's a plural noun? All right, so we're going to say raspberries is plural, right? Because it refers to more than one raspberry. All right, so the philosopher John Dewey believed that children's education needs to be hands on and engaging in order to be effective. So, children's, is that a plural possessive or is it a singular possessive? And we can say this is a plural possessive noun. All right, so it's a plural possessive noun, right? Remember, it's a singular, plural, or if it's just a plural noun. So we can say the performances, songs, and dance routine included acrobatic tricks that thrilled the audience. So performers, song. So we can say it's a plural possessive noun. Yes, well done. So the biologist studied deer's hooves to look for evidence of nutritional problems or disease. So the biologist studies the deer's hooves, and we can say it is a plural possessive noun. And then the last one, it says, fortunately, there were no homes or other buildings in the tornado's path. So the word tornadoes, is that a singular possessive or plural possessive? And if we were to choose the correct one, we'll choose one, right? Because it's one tornado's fault. So now we're going to form singular and plural possessives. We're going to form it. So we say the heroine adventures. So we basically add an apostrophe and an S. All right, so we say the heroine's adventure or toys. All right, so once again, we see the possessive noun. It shows what or who owns something. So we're going to say the heroine's adventure. And that is if we just want to make it possessive, we can just say the heroines with an apostrophe and an S. So the delegates press conference. So if that's, we will then say the delegates. The delegates. If we write it like this. Delegates press conference. Yes, the apostrophe is outside. The senators' voting records. The senators' voting records. And if we were to select the correct one, and then we're going to say it is the senators' voting records. All right. So now we're going to our this where we are going to form singular and plural possessives. It says we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. The astronomer's discovery. So we're going to say the astronomer's discovery. Then we can say the astronomer's discovery because it's more than one that discovered it. A badger diet. A badger diet. We need to say if it's option one, badger, or option two, badgers. So we need to say type the possessive form of the given noun, a badger diet. So we can then say a badger's diet. So a badger's diet, and we added the apostrophe as well as the S. These manuscripts authors. So these manuscripts authors, and then we can say these manuscripts authors. These manuscripts authors. So the managers' meetings. The managers' meetings. Yes, sorry, that was correct. Sorry about that. The managers' meetings. Do we say the manager or managers with an apostrophe only? Option one or option two? The managers' meeting. Option one or option two? All right, so if it's the managers' meeting, and then we can say the managers with an apostrophe at the back only. Meeting. Right? Well done. Our grandparents' advice. All right, and we are going to type the possessive form of the given noun. It says, do we say our grandparents' advice or do we say our grandparents' advice? Our grandparent, which refers to one grandparent, or we say our grandparents' advice. Option one or option two. All right, so we can say option two, our grandparents' advice. That's option two. All right, a harmonica sound, a harmonica sound, right? Do we say harmonica or do we say harmonicus sound? All right, then we can say the harmonicus sound. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on possessive nouns. We said possessive nouns mean that it's either is where either someone or something owns something, right, or it belongs to you. And we said when it's possessive nouns, right, we have singular possessives and we have plural possessives. All right. And then we also have plural only, and plurals mean that it just refers to anything that is more than, right? But it doesn't show any form of ownership or who or what belongs to someone else. All right, so that is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade six, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have an amazing rest of your day or evening. Goodbye.